So I want to talk about a little secret of mine. Okay, welcome to the bougiest episode of HelloKaty that's ever been filmed, because I'm filming this entirely in a bathrobe. I refuse to admit to myself that I'm not living in New York right now and I'm living in suburbia with my parents. And I'm going to college in like 5 days, so I don't really see the point. So I've been wearing this bathrobe everywhere. I'm about to go into my last first day of school, which is so weird and it just gave me goosebumps to say it. Before I get started, I do want to say my phone case is from Casemate, because I know a ton of you guys are going to ask me. And this little thing in the back is like a stick-on that they also sell at Casemate. You can put your cards in it. I'm going to go to Instagram today to answer your questions. I asked for you guys to DM me some questions. Zion K. Douglas wants to know, how would you describe your freshman year of college? Okay, so I want to talk about a little secret of mine. Sometimes the most important things are the hardest things to talk about and the things that you don't want to talk about. Freshman year of college, I hardly ever touch on this. Freshman year was really hard for me. Because, okay, I was coming in from high school, which if you guys have watched me for quite some time, you would know that I was aggressively bullied in high school for several, attributes of me, like just the way I looked, the way I acted, the way I make videos on the internet, and people just didn't really get it. Now it's much more normal. There's a lot more YouTubers out there now, but when I first started, I was, ruthlessly bullied, and I came into college with my guard up, with my walls high. I didn't want to let people in. I didn't want people to see that I wasn't this perfect, confident human being. I had a really hard time freshman year keeping up this persona of who I wanted people to see me as. Coming into college, I was just so afraid that I was going to repeat high school and that somehow, I would be that girl that was picked on all over again. So I put my guard up and I was just not who I am now. And I would actually do this stupid thing where I would lie to people and to myself, not like huge things, but I would lie about stupid things, and I'd hear myself lying about how I had like so many friends in high school and I did all this stuff in high school that I didn't even do, and I would lie to people. And so freshman year, I manufactured this idea of who I wanted to be, and I played the part really fucking well. I mean, freshman year wasn't all rainbows and butterflies for me. I would come home from certain days of class or from going out at night and just cry and lay in bed and think, who am I? Because, people in high school didn't like me, people in college don't like me. I knew how I wanted people to see me, and I did my fucking best at pretending like I was that person. And it really took a toll on me. It started to take a toll on me. Like, my friends from home and my parents were like, Katie, who are you? Like, this is not you. Like, why are you acting like this? For lack of a better way to put it, I turned into a bitch. Like, I turned into one of those people that I was bullied by in high school. Like, I turned into that girl. I was just so blinded by the idea of being wanted. And so freshman year was a really rough time for me. That's the truth. Oh God, I'm just a completely different person than I was freshman year now. And I can't be happier that I've changed, because I was a really fucked up person freshman year of college, and I'm just so glad that that part of my life is over and I don't have to fake things anymore. And a lot of you guys are probably wondering, how or when did I snap out of that awful person I was freshman year? Why did I change? How did I change? How did I find the courage to change and just accept the fact that people aren't gonna like me, which would have scared the shit out of freshman year Katie. Freshman year Katie would be like, oh my God, no, someone cannot not like me. I have to be liked by everyone, no matter what it takes. Even if I have to be the person that I don't want to be, I'm gonna be that person so people would like me. And that was my biggest concern. That ended for me when I looked at myself one night and I was like, who the heck are you? Would those people on the internet that are watching you on a weekly basis, would they even want to look up to this person? This person is not who you are, Katie. And that took me so much courage to just be like, fuck, this is not me. People always ask me, what was freshman year like? What was that first year of college like? And I always lie and say, oh, it was a big adjustment, whatever. But no, the truth is, I was not in a good frame of mind freshman year, because I came in wanting to be different, wanting so desperately to start over. And in any TV show or movie you guys have ever seen that has that type of plot, when the weird girl wants to change and be the cool girl, that never works out for her. There's always something that fucks up. So my biggest piece of advice to anyone who is starting a new phase of life or going into a new transitional period, transferring or going somewhere new and doing something scary, don't do it as someone else. Do it as you. Here is who I am. That was the longest answer to any question I've ever answered. Holy fuck, I hope I can edit that down. Okay, so I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone right now. Advice on being happy is the first question. I'm gonna answer that question by showing you guys a book that I've been reading currently. You guys are always asking what books I'm reading. And the book that I am currently reading is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And I'm sure you guys have heard about this. Like, everyone and their mother raves about this book. And there's a whole section in the beginning about happiness. You know, we try too hard to achieve happiness to the point where we're not even actually happy. Even when we're quote unquote satisfied, you know, we have the boyfriend or the husband, we have the perfect house, the perfect job, the perfect clothes, the perfect physique, there's still gonna be something else that we're not satisfied with. It seems all promising and happy to think about the fact that there's this ultimate, you know, pinnacle of happiness that we can achieve. But the truth of the matter is, we are human beings, which means that we're constantly working towards something better. We're constantly trying to improve our state of being. And you know, that's how life has always been. Like, we've always improved our technology, improved our politics until now, improved, you know, X, Y, and Z. We've always tried to improve. That's why we still don't use wheels that are made out of stone. You know, we use wheels that are made out of whatever the fuck wheels are made out of. Rubber, I guess? Manson says on page 28, if you want to follow along, we are wired to become dissatisfied with whatever we have and satisfied by only what we do not have. And, you know, being dissatisfied breeds change. That is why we are never satisfied, because it's literally in our being to not ever be satisfied with what we have. The way that I have learned to be happy and to be content with my life, even though it isn't how I want it to be 90% of the time, is to give less of a fuck about what everyone else is doing, because comparison is the thief of joy. I've talked about this in a million plus videos, like I constantly am saying that, because we're constantly looking at other people who we think are happier than us, and it's a constant game of who is happier and who has the better life on Instagram and who has this and that. Focus on what gets you out of bed in the morning. The first thing that you think about when you get out of bed, you know, chances are it's not going to be the classes you're studying at school, okay? Hate to break it to you, it's not going to be that all the time. Do that to the best of your ability. Do that until you can't no more, and you'll be surprised what will find you along the way. And that's like my biggest recommendation for anyone going into high school or college or any transitional period of their life where they're confused or don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, if you spend your life looking for someone or for something, you're gonna be disappointed, because I want to be able to say that I got what I wanted when I least expected it. You know, those are the best stories, right? You know, when you find the thing you're looking for when you least expect it, like stumbling into something beautiful. Like, those are the best stories, and I want that to be my story. So I'm gonna pursue what I want to do, and then the rest will fall into place. And I am a firm believer in that. So that was a very long-winded answer to this question. Christina wants to know all-time favorite TV shows. It's a little bit of a lighter subject, so this is good. All-time favorite TV shows. So my favorite shows that I've binged this summer are Younger with Hilary Duff. Anything with Hilary Duff like just really suits my fancy, so I love that show. That's a good show. It's on Hulu/Freeform. You can watch it, I think, on various places on the internet, so that's cool. Second show that I've been binging, or I binged at the beginning of summer, is Big Little Lies. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it, probably read the book. It's an insanely good show. I want to watch it again. They're working on a season 2, I'm pretty sure. Has Reese Witherspoon. I'm also watching The Bold Type, which is kind of a spin-off of how Cosmopolitan, the magazine, began, which is very cool. They only have like 6 or 7 episodes online. They're very easy to watch on Hulu. Love that show as well. Okay, those are 3 good shows that I love. The end. The end of that. Okay. Joe Kesa wants to know, how do you find motivation when beginning something? You're gonna start at a point where there's not very much praise. You're not really getting much feedback. And you have to be okay with that. You know, okay with the idea that you're not gonna be famous with your first video, or for like freshman year of high school, freshman year of college, you can't like come in thinking I'm gonna be the shit, you know, from the beginning, because there's no one in the world that's ever done that unless they're like already a celebrity or something. Like, you're not gonna start something and be perfect at it, or be someone that's even like remotely, you know, good at it, because whenever you start something, you're never gonna be as good as you're gonna be after your 700th thing that you do. This video is light years better than my first video, okay? My first video was actually terrifying. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's scary. When you're beginning something, just know that you're not gonna be an expert at it, and that you have to be okay with that. And it's gonna be a little bit daunting and a little bit scary, but eventually you will figure it out. Carol Mitty, how long does it take you to get ready for class? Do you have an early morning routine? I have 8 a.m.s every day. Yeah, that's how I am too. I have 8 a.m. classes like almost every single day, and I do it by choice because I like getting my shit done at the beginning of the day so I can work on my YouTube stuff and everything else I'm involved in later in the afternoon, because my brain kind of switches off you know, after like 2 p.m. and I can't really like function, so, you know, in a classroom setting. So I oftentimes do have 8 a.m. classes and I don't really get ready for them, essentially. Like I am all about dressing to impress, but you know, you kind of have to like pick your battles. You can't always look amazing for your 8 a.m. classes, and oftentimes I only dress up or put makeup on when I'm presenting a project or something like that. But don't feel like you need to look really great for your 8 a.m.s. Like that's a pretty big freshman mistake, I would say. I do dress nice for my like later classes in the day because you kind of don't really have an excuse to like look like shit. But at your 8 a.m. classes, like everyone gets it if you roll in like your pajamas. Like that's perfectly socially acceptable, so you can do mascara is like my security blanket. Like I always have that on my face unless I'm going to the gym. So that's typically my routine. Lucy Ratowski wants to know, what mascara are you wearing in this? I assume she means my selfie that I posted on Instagram, which is also what I'm wearing now. So I always wear the L'Oreal Paris Butterfly Mascara, the silver tube. I have like 11 of them. Like I keep buying them so I can get fresh ones, and I like layer them on top of each other because I'm a psychopath and I love like 7 layers of mascara, but not when it looks like really, really clumpy. I'm like very strategic about it. But I always apply L'Oreal Butterfly. Definitely recommend. It's like $8 in the drugstore. All Too Jasmine wants to know, what was the best piece of advice you've ever received? I've gotten a lot of good advice, little tidbits and pieces I bring with me through my life over the years. But I think the most recent best piece of advice that I've received, which I actually wrote a whole blog post about, which I'll put in the description box below. It is down there. Definitely read it on the way out. Is stop looking for him. Which sounds really basic, but you know, as you guys know, if you watch me forever, heaven forbid I freak out about not having a boyfriend. Like heaven forbid I become normal for once. Like you guys really are hard on me on that aspect of my life, and it is a flaw of mine. I will admit it is a flaw, and I know I have a lot of talents and gifts and stuff, and like I am a very smart girl, as you guys say, but I am hung up constantly on finding the love of my life. About a week ago, an older woman told me, stop looking for him, and I don't know why, it just like shook me. It got me shook, you know, that like phrase everyone's saying, but like it really was like, whoa, it like rocked me to my core. You know, I gotta stop looking for him. Stop looking for him, stop looking for it, whatever it may be, like whatever that thing is that you think is missing from your life. Stop spending every waking moment away from your passions and what actually you should be doing. Like stop taking time away from those things that are important to look for the things that aren't ready to be found yet. You know, some things in your life are just not ready to be found. It's like taking brownies out of the microwave or whatever, like oven, I guess is where you actually put them. Stove? Oven. I'm not very good at baking, but it's like taking the brownies out of the microwave when they're not fully cooked. It's like it's not ready yet, so stop forcing something that's not ready to happen yet. Like stop forcing it. So that's it. I think it's a pretty good video, don't you think? So yeah, that is it for this. Whoa, that was almost a nip slip. I hope you guys all thought this video was pretty helpful, and maybe it helped you through something, or is planting a seed in your head right now, something that's gonna foster and grow and make you a better person, because that's always the goal. And that's it for this video. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.